Hello friends! It is still April, so we are still learning about outer space. This is an Usborne book all about outer space. And there are little flaps here. I wish that you all could be here with me so that you could do them with me. But we can still read them together and learn together. Blast off! A rocket roars into the sky. It whooshes up and up. The ground is far below. The rocket is now in space. Space is everything that exists beyond planet Earth, our home. There are lots of strange things out there. Big chunks of rock drift through space. These are called asteroids. From space, Earth looks like a round ball. The blue bits are sea. The green bits are land. See? This is Earth. And this is the sea or the water and the land. There are lots of other planets in space. They look different than Earth. This planet is much bigger than Earth. It's made of swirling hot gas. This planet is smaller than Earth. It is made of rock. This large ball of fiery gas is called a star. No one knows how many stars there are in space. There are too many to count. No people know. Who knows how many stars there are in space? God does, because He created it. He created all of the universe. People who go up into space are called astronauts or cosmonauts. Get that, astronaut? People who study it are called astronomers. So people who study about outer space are called astronomers. No one knows just how big space is, not even the very best scientists. Some scientists think that space might go on and on forever. The moon. One of the closest things in space to Earth is the moon, a big ball of rock that travels around the Earth in a circle. The moon is a still silent place. It has no air, water, or life of any kind, not even tiny insects. It's called the dark or far side of the moon. It's covered with huge holes called craters on this side. And then this side is called the lighter side of the moon. At night, the moon looks like it's shining. In fact, the light comes from the sun. The moon acts like a mirror, reflecting the light towards Earth. Why does the moon go around the Earth? Here. The moon is held in a circle or an orbit around the Earth by Earth's gravity. Gravity pulls small objects to big ones. How big is the moon? The moon is much smaller than Earth. You could fit 4 moons into Earth. If you could build a road to the moon, it would take 4 months to drive there in a car. On the moon, around 40 years ago, astronauts flew spacecraft to the moon. They climbed out onto the dusty surface. This spacecraft is called a lunar model. Luna means moon in Latin. To go home, the astronauts climbed back into the top of their spacecraft and blasted off back into space. How did they get there? First, a rocket blasted off from the Earth, and the astronauts sat in the top. Up here. The rocket whooshed up into space. Parts of it fell away. This part went to the moon. Wow. A moon buggy to drive around in. How fun. Astronauts used the buggy to explore the moon, and they saw deep, dark craters. And dry, dusty mountains. The astronauts collected moon rocks to study. They took photos and made films of everything that they saw. Then people on Earth could see what the moon's surface looked like too. The astronauts wore thick spacesuits to go outside on the moon. Tough gloves, strong boots. The helmet had a radio inside to talk to each other, and a backpack carried air to breathe, because there's none on the moon. There's less gravity, which makes things fall downwards on the moon than on Earth. So astronauts can jump higher off the ground on the moon. There's no wind or rain or any weather at all on the moon. So astronauts' footprints will stay here for a very, very long time. A space station. In space, astronauts live in a floating home called the International Space Station. They do experiments to learn all about space. 6 astronauts can live in the space station. Wow. Astronauts do experiments in science laboratories. The helmet has a radio to talk to the station crew. A backpack carries air to breathe and water to drink. The spacesuit is thick and heavy. Each astronaut exercises for 2 hours every day to stay strong and fit. Can you see them exercising? Astronauts go outside to fix things. This is called a spacewalk. Wow, look at that amazing view. They can look out that window and see outside. How cool is that? To go out into space, the astronauts wear these thick, heavy spacesuits to help them breathe. The station travels in circles or orbits around the Earth. How did the space station get there? The space station was built in parts and then taken up into space in a different spacecraft. A robot arm rose from each spacecraft, and they lifted out new parts to build the station and joined them on to the rest. These planets use light from the sun to power the space station. Once the work is done, there's lots of time for fun. Look at that. They're playing music and they're floating around, having a great time. Living in space is not easy. There's not much gravity, so everything floats around. Astronauts sleep in bags fixed to the station walls. And the toilet has bars to stop astronauts from floating off of it. Astronauts travel to the space station from Earth in a spacecraft. The spacecraft connects to the space station and then the astronauts climb inside. Welcome! On Earth, scientists talk to the space station crew by radio. They check that the station is working properly. Well, my friends, there is a lot of information in this book. And because we are making a video, I have found that it is best to do it in smaller parts. So I am going to finish this video, but I will start another video for you guys to watch that will have the rest of this book in it. So I'll see you guys soon.